who could make a case for playing time. How much do you expect during the course of the year to have to sort of boost the spirits of the guy who's not playing a lot? Do you think that falls under your responsibility, or do you expect them to just be men and not need their spirits to be lifted?
Yeah, no, the first thing I told those guys was look around the room. Like there's a lot of good players in this room. And the thing that I learned in the NFL is that you never know when your time is going to come. I told them the first day, I said, game one might not be the Mark Fletcher game. I don't know whose game it's going to be, but you have to be ready when your number's called. So I saw that from the first meeting, guys, at some point in time, somebody's going to have a game where they're going to go off, and somebody's not going to have a good day. So I think harping on that was, that's football, and that's going to happen has kind of started from day one.
What was it like for you to kind of come in and have a room like this that's already, kind of stocked with talent?
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, it's a good problem to have. That means that, they've done a great job of recruiting, up to the point that I got here. But those guys aren't done. They're not finished products. And my thing is trying to make these guys better, figuring out what they're not as good in, bringing a different perspective. I played quarterback, so trying to help these guys learn, schematically, defensively, different things that, maybe they might not have been super detailed on in the past, but just trying to make sure these guys continue to get better. And
then just, what was the hiring process like for you? I mean, what was your decision for, your thought process in terms of deciding whether to leave the NFL and go to college? What was the whole process like for you?
Yeah, no, so I told my wife, we've been coaching now for a while. I've been coaching now for going on 10 years. There's not very many jobs that I've wanted, where I've seen them. He's like, I'd be interested. I wouldn't mind that one, but this is one I wanted. When this one came open, I told her that I wanted this one. Being from Florida, I played for Coach Cristobal back in 2012, 13. It all made sense, to come back to Florida, be a part of a program that is already winning, and come from a place that I was winning as well. So got a chance to interview with Coach. He still remembered me, which was a good thing. And a chance to come be a part of something special and, take it up a notch.
What do you remember from playing for Coach Cristobal? Now, what's it like being on the staff?
Yeah, no, I knew that he was a really good football coach from the first time I met him. I knew that he was going to be special. I knew that he was going to go big places, and I just wanted to be a part of it. So, he's the same. He's the same as that coach that I knew. Now I'm just on the other side of the wall with him. Now I'm in meetings, versus being out here on the field. But I appreciate that he's the same person. That's one of the big things I look for when I work for somebody is if they're the same person each day, and he shows up as the same person each time, and he's easy to work for.
Do you ever catch him doing something in practice, talking to a player, and you're like, oh wait, I remember that now?
Oh, every time, 1,000%. He's not changed. Still the same sayings, everything's still the same. So it's good. It's refreshing.
How do you feel like you grew most from your time in the NFL?
Yeah, honestly, I would say if I would have interviewed for this job a year ago, I wouldn't have been ready. I think the run that we had this past year, kind of being resilient, understanding that we went lost the first, we went 1-2 to start, and then we routed off 11, which doesn't happen very often in the NFL. And knowing that each week you're going to get everybody's best, you're no longer, the Denver Broncos, who nobody doesn't respect anymore. That kind of made me a better coach, that you have to take it up a notch each week. You can't be resilient and think that, last week was like the next week. And so I think now bringing that here, these guys just played, 16 games, just like we did in the regular season. Kind of bringing that to these guys, hey, it's not over. Week 2 is different than week 10, and now we got to keep getting better.
With Mark Fletcher, just from when you got here, just your initial impressions of him and what he does from both on the field, a leadership perspective, and just how impactful he's gonna be for this team?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's one of the best humans I've ever met, and I truly mean that. In our short time, he's had an amazing impact on me, and I keep telling everybody I feel like we were brought in each other's lives at this point in time for a reason. We're very similar in a lot of ways, but he is amazing to work with. He was very receptive to me, and I think that helped, with the guys as well. And he's a true leader. He does everything the right way. He doesn't just talk it. He also walks it. So he's easy to follow as far as the guys go, and I'm looking forward to this year for him.
It would have been easy for Jordan Lyle after 35 carries last year to look in the portal. He did not. Which speaks well of him. What's been your impression of him so far?
A really good player. Balanced, he can do. There's nothing that he can't do. My biggest thing with him is trying to get his confidence back, I want to see him smiling, walking around, and loving football. And I want him to be, I think, what everybody in the state of Florida knows he can be. So I want to keep helping him grow through this process and continue to get better. But I really like the kid as a person, and I know he's going to be a good football player.
When you're recruiting running backs, just the traits you look for in those players, what do you value most?
Yeah, I'm like Coach. I like big running backs. So anywhere from that 5'10" to 6'1", 6'2", that can run, good feet. and that show contact courage. You know, I want a guy that I don't have to worry if he's going to run hard or not. That's the kind of things I look for, and luckily we got all that in the room right now.
First impressions of Javian?
Oh my goodness, he's going to be special. He's going to be a really good player. I'm excited for him. He's got so much to learn, though. He's still green. But me and him are the only two new guys in the room, and he's picking up the offense at a really high rate. I'm excited for him.
If the guys ask you essentially the next level, to get to the next level at that position, I'm sure they all obviously want to.
Mm-hmm.
What's your message back to them essentially that they've got to essentially improve on to be a next level guy?
Yeah, you have to be able to do everything. You don't want to be a first or second down back or just a third down back. You know, that's kind of the thing in the NFL. They'll box you in. And especially at that position, you know, right now in the NFL, they're not getting paid as much. And, you know, everybody's special to what they're doing. But kind of get these guys knowing that you have to be able to do everything. You have to be smart as well. They pay those quarterbacks a lot of money, so you got to be able to protect them. So just making these guys well-rounded and knowing what's going on.
Sean Payton, obviously very involved on your side of the ball now. Things you took away from him, which has helped mold you as a coach.
Yeah, that running backs are a weapon. You know, he had Alvin Kamara and Ingram and, you know, Latavius Murray, and all those guys were different, but he used them all. You know, he'll throw the ball to them, he'll run them, and he talks about like an inside triangle with like the tight end, the inside receiver, and the running back, knowing that those guys are kind of where you win games at across the middle in the NFL. So having ways to get those guys to football was something that he was big on, and I kind of took that away from him.
Has Shannon picked your mind at all on some of that stuff, some of those concepts that you're bringing from the NFL?
Yeah, you know, in our initial interviews, we kind of talked about some of that stuff, but here I'm trying to learn the offense. You know, I need to learn what we're doing first before I throw in any my ideas and
suggestions.
Yeah, what I've learned. So right now I'm just trying to learn our offense, and we'll see what happens come
Are you
the season.
seeing them? Are you seeing them like during practice and stuff? Like, hey, this might work. Or?
Oh yeah, no, you always got to be looking and thinking, always. Yeah.
Is it in any way, I mean, I don't know if intimidating is the right word, but like, I guess what's the mindset you have to have? You're kind of joining a team that had such a successful season last year. It's already kind of doing things well. To just kind of jump on board with that. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I just came from it myself. You know, we came up just a little bit short in Denver, you know, just like we did here. So honestly, it's more of a chip on my shoulder that I think we should have won, you know, another game and at least played in the Super Bowl. And I feel like the guys we're all on that same page that we want to take to the next level. So for me, I feel the same way you guys do. You know, I want to take it up another notch and not fall short again.